Welcome to Legion Builds, where I guide you on how to bring your favorite characters into Dungeons & Dragons. This video and all my content is made possible by my Patreon supporters. Thank you all so much. It's also dedicated to everyone who subscribes to my channel. I really wouldn't do any of this without you guys. It's once more my birthday, and as such, we're doing a special episode of Legion Builds where I build one of my favorite characters of all time, and today we're building my second favorite anti-hero, Ichi, aka Zatoichi. Fun fact, his name is not Zatoichi, it's his title. It means blind person of low rank Ichi. Prior to losing his sight, Ichi showed amazing promise in swordsmanship, but was also addicted to gambling. With his sight lost, Ichi trained to be a masseuse, but once more gambling engulfed his life. With his back against the wall, Ichi began training to hone his other senses to not only detect when his criminal friends tried to cheat him, but reclaim his sword skills. Ichi would eventually become a renowned sword for hire and killer amongst the criminals of Japan, and also a pain in the side of all gambling houses in all 26 original films, which I own. Before we begin, we're gonna have to play a little loose with the rules here. Ichi is blind, and some DMs would not allow some of the stuff I'm going to give him, but this is my birthday episode, and frankly, I would allow this in my games. If they don't allow it, switch to another subclass. Everything will still work, but it will not be 100% in character. I'll also explain how I would allow it in my games. For today's build, we'll be using the Player's Handbook, Xanathar's Guide to Everything, and Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. We're using standard point array to make things easy for you, and we are multi-classing, so keep an eye on minimums. We're going to start things off with Dex at 15. Stories of your speed are legendary among the underworld, and you can dodge just about anything not at range. Wisdom comes in at a 14. Your senses are amazing, and you are well attuned to your surroundings. As long as you're not up high or near water, you tend to have problems with those. Intelligence follows at 13. People underestimate you a lot because of your lack of sight, but you're no idiot. Con will be a 12. Nothing justifies this, just 12 had to go somewhere. Strength will be 10, and we're dumping charisma. You're not overly strong, and you're a jerk. Ichi is a human with amazing speed and senses. Custom lineage works because variant humans spreads the stat adjustments, place +2 into wisdom. For your free feat, alert is the first step into your abilities. With this, you cannot be surprised while you're conscious, you gain +5 to initiative, and other creatures can't have advantage on attacks against you because you can't see them. For your free skill, grab perception. For background, we're going to need the skills medicine and investigation. Level 1 rogues start off with 4 skills. Grab athletics, insight, sleight of hand, and performance. Expertise takes 2 skills you are proficient with and doubles your proficiency bonus. Take perception and medicine. Sneak attack adds bonus damage to your attacks with a finesse or ranged weapon, while you have advantage or within 5 feet of an enemy of your target. Love the wording of that rule. This starts off at a d6, but will get better. Your cane sword is definitely a finesse weapon as it uses speed over strength. I would go with a rapier or short sword, but this is up your DM's discretion. Thieves' Cant is a secret coded language of criminals that uses symbols, gestures, and phrases. Level 1 fighters begin with a fighting style. Blind fighting gives you blind sight out to 10 feet. Within that range, you can see effectively anything that isn't hidden behind total cover, even if you are blind or they are invisible. Second Wind lets you ignore wounds and lets you heal yourself 1d10 plus your fighter level with a bonus action. Okay, last multi-class here. Level 1 monks have unarmored defense. Your AC when not wearing armor is 10 plus dex plus wisdom. Martial arts improves your hand-to-hand combat capabilities. When not wearing armor or using a shield, your unarmed strikes can now be dex-based. Damage is martial arts dice, which is a d4. And you can make an unarmed strike as a bonus action after making an attack with an unarmed strike or monk weapon. Bad news, rapiers are not monk weapons, but short swords are. That being said, because of how you earn your living, you generally don't use your hands in fighting unless you have to, but you are trained in martial arts, so we're giving this to you. Level 2 rogues receive Cunning Action. Dash, hide, and disengage are now bonus actions for you. Level 3 rogues now gain their subclass. Let's enhance your senses a little more and help you pay attention to your surroundings. Inquisitive Rogue found in Xanathars will work pretty well if your DM is okay with you playing a blind character with some sight-based abilities. If not, switch this out, they're all good. Ear for Deceit makes it easy to know when someone is lying to you. Now when you make an insight check to tell if someone is lying, you can now never roll lower than 8 on the die. Eye for Detail makes perception checks to spot hidden creatures or objects, and Investigate to uncover or decipher clues a bonus action. Steady Aim grants you a bonus action to give yourself advantage. On a turn you haven't moved, you reduce your speed to 0 to the end of your turn, and now you have advantage on your next attack. Insightful Fighting is where this build gets messy. When you see a creature you are fighting with a bonus action, you can make an insight check against their deception. If your insight is higher, you can now use your sneak attack against them, even if you don't have advantage or someone else is nearby. This lasts for 1 minute or until you use this feature again. Now, this is actually something Itchy can do in the movies. How I would handle it is you must make a perception check, and if you pass, you can then use this ability. Up to your DM though. Finally, your sneak attack is upgraded to 2d6 extra damage. Level 4 rogues earn our first ability score improvement. Grab the feat Piercer from Tasha's Cauldron. This adds +1 to dex. Once per turn, when you hit with a piercing weapon, like a rapier or short sword, you can reroll 1 damage dice, and when you score a critical hit with a piercing weapon, you can add 1 more damage dice to the hit. Level 5 rogues receive Uncanny Dodge, which will not work with you if you're playing a blind character. But as with Insightful Fighting, I would add a perception check to see if you can do this. Now when you take damage from an attack you can see, you can use your reaction to halve the damage. Personally, I would not allow this for ranged attacks against you, because Itchy's hearing isn't perfect and he does get hit with long distance attacks quite often. Your sneak attack is upgraded to 3d6 extra damage. Level 6 rogues gain 2 more expertise. Place this into Insight and Sleight of Hand. Level 7 rogues now have Evasion. Your dex saves are now improved. When you succeed on a dex save, you take no damage and half on a failed one. Your sneak attack is now 4d6 extra damage. Level 8 rogues earn another ability score improvement. Place this into Wisdom for better perception and AC. Level 9 Inquisitive rogues receive Steady Eye. You now have advantage on perception and investigation checks when you move no more than half your speed on that turn, which is actually Itchy's normal speed as he prefers to take things slow. You tend to stub your toe and walk into things when you're moving too fast. Your sneak attack is now upgraded to 5d6 extra damage. Level 10 rogues can earn another ability score improvement, Cap Off Wisdom for better AC and perception. Level 11 rogues have my favorite feature, Reliable Talent. Now any skill you are proficient with can never be lower than 10 on a d20 when you make a check. This means your perception check will always be adding +15 before adding your double proficiency bonus to them, which is a 10 at this level. Your sneak attack is now upgraded to 6d6 extra damage. Level 12 rogues earn another ability score improvement. Place this into Dex for better AC, attack, and damage. Level 13 Inquisitive rogues receive Unerring Eye. This is another ability I would tack a perception tech to use for a blind character, as it requires both sight and sound. As an action, you can sense the presence of illusions, shape changers, or other magic to design to deceive the senses within 30 feet. This does not reveal its true nature, only that something is trying to fool you. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier between long rests. Your sneak attack is now upgraded to 7d6 extra damage. Level 14 rogues gain Blind Sense. As long as you can hear, you are aware of the location of any hidden or invisible creature within 10 feet of you. Level 15 rogues now have Slippery Mind. you now have proficiency with wisdom saves. Your sneak attack is upgraded once again, now dealing 8d6 extra damage. Level 16 rogues earn our final ability score improvement, cap off Dex for an AC of 20. Level 17 Inquisitive Rogues earn their final subclass feature. Eye for Weakness adds 3d6 extra damage to your sneak attack when you're using Insightful Fighting. And guess what? Your sneak attack is now 9d6, meaning you'll be dealing 12d6 extra damage with a sneak attack, or 25d6 on a critical hit with sneak attack while using a piercing weapon. Our final level is level 18 Rogue, and you receive Elusive. Now, no attack roll against you can be at advantage as long as you are now not incapacitated. So even if you're surrounded by enemies, no flanking, no advantage. Now that we've hit level 20, let's recap. Your stats are Strength 10, Dex 20, Con 12, Intelligence 13, Wisdom 20, Charisma 8. Your total levels are Rogue 18, Monk 1, Fighter 1. Alright, let's dive in. Let's take a look at your senses. You can never be surprised, you can never have advantage against you, nothing can hide from you, and your passive perception is 27, which is the lowest you can roll with a perception check. In combat, you're pretty scary too. You're dealing with a rapier, 1d8 plus 5, then adding 9d6 or 12d6 with a sneak attack, 25d6 with a sneak attack critical hit, and you have an AC of 20 with a plus 10 to initiative. Finally, while you only just have 120 HP taking the average, you can get out of a fight very easy with a simple bonus action. Downside. Firstly, without a magic weapon, you're not dealing magical damage, but you'll get a magic weapon unless it's a non-magical campaign, which means you don't need magical damage. I have to say that every time a class doesn't have magical damage because, well, some classes have magical damage. Your charisma's terrible too. As I said, you're a jerk. So spellcasters will target you and social interactions will not go well, which really is a problem for you. But who needs charisma when you can cut a candle in half without disturbing it? Someone tries to cheat you, remind them how you earn that coin. Thank you for joining me today for a special birthday character build. Do you like Japanese cinema like I do? Check out my D&D build for the first true anti-hero, Sangiorno from Yojimbo. And you know what? Let's have some fun. Who wants to see the third greatest anti-hero? Ito Ogami, aka the Lone Wolf. Comment now and vote in my YouTube poll, and I'll make another special episode and bring the star of Lone Wolf and Cub into D&D. Make sure to like and subscribe to not miss a single new build each week on YouTube and Spotify. And make sure to check out my Patreon where you can help decide next week's new character build.